These officers never know when the next outburst will come.
When people get arrested, they're mad. We start invading their close personal space, they get even more angry.
In the line of fire, surrounded by drug addicts and the mentally ill, violence is the only certainty.
We got no time for the games they play.
Hold up, man. Hold up, man. Take my cuffs off. Ain't nobody talking to you.
This is where crime and punishment meet. This is County Jail.
Ready? Okay, stand up. You want to take the hand? Take these cuffs off? Oh, yeah.
9 p.m. Friday evening. And the weekend's just begun at the Multnomah County Detention Center in Portland, Oregon. Officers here are on the front line in the never-ending battle against crime.
When's the last time you shot up?
Counter, leave your hands on the counter, walk your feet back to the edge of the mat.
All right, you have a weapon, sharp objects, any drugs, any cutter poke man? Nope.
Everybody arrested in the city of Portland tonight will be processed here, whether they like it or not.
You. Don't touch me! Don't touch me!
For deputies, that means confronting detainees who may be angry and aggressive, like this young woman who allegedly assaulted her boyfriend and attacked total strangers during a drinking binge. Gaining control is a constant challenge.
It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. Don't touch me.
It's a dangerous job. Many offenders are not only violent, but drug addicted and mentally ill. Deputy Bledsoe is a 12-year veteran at the booking counter, the first stop in the processing of people arrested on the street. He's learned to expect anything.
Oh no, every night's different. You can't predict at the beginning of the shift how the night's going to go. I mean, we could use as a force. It could be a quiet night. We have no problems, and then sometimes we have to fill all these cells up back here.
He often processes 100 individuals in a single day. This county jail is one of the busiest in America, booking 45,000 people a year with the same routine.
Just put your hands on the end of the counter, walk your feet back to the end of the mat, and spread them out.
Deputy Bledsoe and his fellow officers need to be on constant alert. Kept in a big open space while awaiting their mugshots, there's plenty of room for offenders to misbehave. It's like any other waiting room, except it's filled with people accused of everything from drunk driving and disorderly conduct to theft and assault. Surprisingly, they are not cuffed or restrained in any way. It's part of a policy intended to help reduce stress during the booking process. But more than 2/3 of detainees are drug users. Many are high on crystal meth, a drug that can produce psychotic outbursts.
Hey,
Taking the shoes.
hold up, man. Hold up, man.
Shoes.
Hold up.
You need to cooperate with us.
I am
They can lose
cooperating
control
with
and
you.
attack at any time, as Shift Sergeant Gorton knows all too well.
The ultimate challenge for us is maintaining a certain level of safety and security because we don't have cages to put these people in. They're out in the open. They're out in an area where anything can happen at any time.
Despite the risks, officers are unarmed. That way no weapon can get into the wrong hands. But all they have to protect themselves are their wits and a zero tolerance for any kind of resistance.
No, I can't.
Walk your feet to the edge of the black mat.
Okay, you can let go of my pants and I'll do it, but you gotta look. I'm not letting go now.
It's what keeps them safe from harm.
I'm here for a drinking in public ticket.
You need to turn around and be
I'm
quiet.
not gonna.
You're not
Oh,
gonna
shoot,
you are.
I'm here on a warrant for drinking in public. I drank a beer on the sidewalk.
Listen, what the hell I'm saying? You understand me? Yeah, you want to cooperate with us, sir, it's gonna go bad. You understand?
Okay, I give up. I give up.
You gonna
All
behave?
right, yeah, okay, okay.
You're gonna give you a chance to fail.
When people come to jail, when they get arrested, they're mad. When they come to jail, they're angrier. And when they come in here and we start invading their close personal space, they get even more angry. That booking counter is probably one of the most volatile places in the facility when it comes to physical encounters with an inmate. because they're not happy about being here. They're high on a type of drug. They're intoxicated.
I drank a beer, sit on the sidewalk, and you treat me like this.
Due to an increase in drug abuse, work has become increasingly intense for Sergeant Gorton and her deputies.
If you've got someone that's going to confront you, you end it. You end it fast. You control the threat and you put them in a secure place. You know, and however you have to do that is how you have to do it.
Any confrontation could lead to violence. Everyone is a potential threat.
You seem angry, man.
Oh, no, I'm happy to see a wrinkled old man like you. How do you like that?
Late in the evening, a belligerent detainee puts Deputy Bledsoe immediately on guard.
Hey, man. Sharp on you? Yeah.
What?
My tongue.
Your tongue?
Police arrested the man for disorderly conduct. Officers say he has a history of street fighting.
Where were you born?
I was born in a reservation.
The handcuff comes off, put your hand flat on the counter, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But when the cuffs come off, it's easy for a suspect to lash out.
Reach down, take your shoes off, place them flat on the counter.
Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir.
Take your watch off, place it on the counter.
Sir, yes, sir. There's a napkin there?
Well, sit in the back row, sir.
Any expression of defiance is considered to be a threat. As officers are unarmed, any resistance could seriously undermine their authority.
Head off, stand behind the podium on your right.
Yes, sir. What's up, guy?
And talking back just isn't tolerated.
What, bro? What are you doing?
It's a mistake the offender pays for with a visit to one of the unit's 9 isolation cells.
We got no time for the games they play. He had a definite attitude when he's walking down there. He wouldn't follow direction. He went and stood behind to get his picture taken. He copped an attitude with me, and he just wouldn't cooperate. So we put him in ISO 4.
The 6 by 9 foot room is a stripped down version of a standard cell with a wooden bench and no bed. With so many volatile drug addicts coming in nearly every night, the isolation cells are in constant use.
That's very common. We'll have like maybe on a rough night, maybe 10 of these. More than that.
The detention center deals with a constant flow of drug abusers. The initial booking process is just the beginning. Heroin addict Paul Lyman knows the drill. He says he's been here 32 times, enough to know how to take his own fingerprints.
Actually, that was a pretty good print. You did yourself. All right, wash your hands.
Tonight he's booked on a charge of petty theft. He was stealing clothing to support his drug habit. Once he's processed, Paul Lyman will be moved onto one of the upper floors of the detention center, into one of the housing cells. The 16-story high-rise in downtown Portland holds nearly 700 inmates, more than some state penitentiaries. Inmates are held until their hearings or trials, or to serve sentences ranging from a few days to a full year.
We have everything that a state penitentiary has. We have inmates that are in here from the state penitentiary awaiting trial. We have murderers, we have rapists, we have drug addicts, we have drug dealers.
Heroin addict Paul Lyman will be the latest addition. But before he's taken to his cell, he must be strip searched.
Green booth. Step into a green booth on the left, find your name hanging from one of those blue bags. Strip down naked. Okay?
Inmates often hide drugs and paraphernalia in clothing or body cavities.
You too, raise your arms in the air. Head forward, enhance your hair. Open your mouth, dentures, partials, anything come out. Nope, take your hand, lift your balls of penis, turn around. Bend over, spread your butt cheeks, and cough. You see your feet, look at your toes. Next one. Thank you. There you go.
As an addict, Paul faces something far more harrowing than a strip search in a jail cell. Denied drugs, he'll go through a long and agonizing withdrawal. With so many addicts coming through its doors, the detention center staffs a medical unit that specializes in treating substance abuse. Tonight, nurses will have to deal with Paul Lyman's heroin withdrawal. Staff nurse Topor will administer a course of drugs called a protocol to counter the harmful effects.
We have several protocols, but we have a very specific one for alcohol withdrawal. And then we have another one for people in opiate heroin withdrawal. It's very specific also. They're based on the fact that both of those withdrawals can be so harmful that we really need to push those drugs in order to prevent further damage to this person who's really suffering from it.
Out here to the left on the black line, stop at the corner.
Addict Paul is now ready to be transferred to the detention center's 6th floor where his cell awaits. For now, he'll have nothing but a bed, a sink, and a toilet. And without heroin, he faces a series of long and painful days ahead. A busy Friday night at the Multnomah County Detention Center in Portland, Oregon is heating up as midnight approaches.
Been here before? No?
Shift Sergeant Gorton, a 10-year veteran at the facility, heads into the parking area to help her team. A new detainee has just been brought in, only he's unconscious from drinking.
You woke up and talked to us, it's fine for a little while.
Hang on a second, guys.
Sergeant Gorton breaks out smelling salts to revive the man.
No más? All right, come on out. Venga aquí. Mira, ¿tiene problemas médicos? No. ¿Estás tomando medicina? Sí.
Nearby, trouble is brewing when another suspect refuses to do as he's told.
You know what? You need to knock it off right now. Why? Because I got another exactly.
Sergeant Gorton immediately takes control.
You just shut your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Beat my tear me up.
Let me explain something to you. If you want to be treated with respect, you treat me with respect, treat my staff with respect, all right? We're going to treat you exactly the same way you treat us. Okay, when you come in here yelling and screaming, you're going to get a lot of negative attention. They're just doing their jobs, okay?
He's just doing his job, I realize that.
You stay cool, I'll stay cool. If you rise back up again, I'm going to get angry again.
I won't.
All right. All right,
thank you, ma'am.
All right.
If you come in here and you're up here, it's our goal to get you down here so that we can get you through the booking process. I want to be able to show my staff it's easy to physically control somebody. It's a lot harder to verbally control somebody. Our goal is to verbally control them before we have to physically control them.
On hectic weekend nights, these deputies face a constant struggle. Remember, they're unarmed and words don't always work, especially with more and more drug users coming in, bursting with hostility and rage. Like a man picked up on a theft charge at a local bus stop.
Moving faster, dog. Why y'all be how much they be scared, man?
What's your name?
Don't worry about my name.
He's so aggressive, Deputy Bledsoe suspects he's on methamphetamine, or meth, a highly potent form of speed.
Take my cuffs off, cuz. You know what I'm saying? You want to be a...
Meth can cause psychotic outbursts, so Bledsoe and the other officers surround him to prevent any violent attacks.
Get off me, man! Man, don't touch me, man. Don't touch me, bro. Get off me, man.
They move him to an isolation cell and take the cuffs off, but he only becomes more aggressive.
Get down on your hands and knees.
I can't win. I can't win against all y'all, man.
You're right.
I can't, but I'll be out.
Put your hand under your belly.
I'll be out.
If you move,
I
you
know,
will
I'll
be
be
tased.
dead, because I'm a black man in a white America.
To protect himself and his fellow officers, Deputy Bledsoe points a taser, a 50,000-volt electroshock gun, at the detainee. It's the only weapon he has. As he reaches for it, things turn ugly. But eventually, officers control the situation without resorting to the taser. Fortunately for the deputies, not everyone is so aggressive.
I scared myself in that.
About a third of the people arrested in Portland tonight will be charged with minor offenses, like trespassing and public drunkenness. they'll get a citation similar to an infringement notice.
Citations are here for identification purposes only. They have a little less patience than most people that come in here.
Many are first-timers, and they don't like being treated like criminals.
They're not familiar with the process because chances are they haven't been here before. And if they haven't been here before, then this whole process that they're going through is new to them, and they get very upset about that.
But many of them are still drunk or high, which makes them unpredictable and potentially dangerous. If everybody knows the rules, everybody stays safe. But some cases, like this alleged drunk driver, have trouble understanding anything.
So here's the deal. I'm gonna take the handcuffs off. When the handcuffs come off your wrist, your hands go on the counter. You understand?
Yes.
Okay. And by taking your hands off the counter, I will deem that a threat to my safety and have to take appropriate actions.
You don't have to worry about that.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying that's the
I
way it
understand, but you understand that I'm not gonna.
Okay.
You are in no danger.
Put your feet nice and wide for me. There you go. Just put down, please.
This man seems harmless enough, but detainees could be concealing anything, anywhere. The deputy takes no chances.
We've had guns on the counter, we've had knives on the counter, where officers miss them on their searches.
Keep your hands on the counter.
That's why when we tell someone to put their hands on the counter and don't move them until I tell you to, because I don't know what you have on you.
Next, the deputy confiscates personal property to be returned upon release and takes fingerprints.
That goes back to her, this goes to you. Wipe off the grease. Garbage can for the garbage, you can have a seat right there in the...
Fingerprints are used to record or confirm his identity and to check whether he has a criminal record. The drunk driving suspect is slated for a quick release, but he still needs to follow the rules in the open booking area.
Don't put your feet up there. Don't be an Just one of those simple rules. Jason, just so you know, your citation, once you finish the booking process, you'll be out of here in about 4 hours after you're done getting your picture taken and everyone talks to you. If you be an it'll take about 8 hours.
A lot of times we have to sit there and explain the whole process to them, that we can't let them go until we verify who they are and verify that they don't have any outstanding warrants.
Surprisingly enough, some people even turn themselves in at the detention center. People like Miranda Harris, a 28-year-old drug addict. To prevent being convicted on a cocaine possession charge, she recently entered a drug rehab program, but dropped out, and the court issued a warrant for her arrest. She considers herself an addict, not a criminal.
No, I'm an addict. That's not all I am. Though I might share a similar charge with someone else. Not being defined as an individual is the hardest thing about being here. This is not a place where I plan to stay or keep coming.
Though she came in on her own, to deputies she's just another offender. They'll do a contraband search, take fingerprints.
Go ahead and wipe it off. Have a seat in the front row over there.
And mug shots.
Okay, go ahead and look straight up at the camera.
Harris is no stranger to the process. She's been here half a dozen times before. She has a 12-year-old daughter and real hopes for a better future. But the rehab program may have been her last chance to make good in the eyes of the court. Now, when she faces the judge, he could let her drug conviction stand, and she could do serious time behind bars. Harris will be held for the whole weekend in a housing cell on one of the building's upper floors until her hearing on Monday. But first, officers in the classification unit must work out which cell block she'll go to. It's their job to assess each inmate and the danger they represent to themselves and others. If she's paired up with the wrong cellmate, somebody could get hurt. For the detention center, it's a critical process. A few years earlier, a violent inmate attacked and killed his new cellmate.
I told you the last time you were here,
Yes, you did talk to me last time.
Okay, it's very important that you tell me the truth, okay? How long are you going to be here?
Till Monday.
Monday?
Till Monday. We'll go back to the Marshal's Court on Monday.
Deputy Towers Picton bases her decision on Harris's non-violent history. and
Have you ever been
known
a
drug
victim of
use.
sexual assault while in the jail?
No.
You're going to be withdrawing from drugs?
No.
You're not on drugs right now?
No.
No? When was the last time you used drugs?
On the 28th of May. I feel blessed to actually say that, because last time I was high.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I said it's
Yes,
important that you tell me the truth, because I wrote down you were high.
The deputy knows that if inmates are coming down off drugs, they could behave erratically.
I interviewed her the last time that she was here last month, and she was trying to tell me she wasn't high, and she was definitely high. And this time her pupils were dilated, her mannerisms were agitated, and she had all the symptoms of still being high. Okay, just sit down.
She assigns Harris to a women's unit where many of the inmates have addiction problems. She sees substance abusers like her reoffending all the time.
Can you just have a seat? They'll be processing you here very soon.
I'd say 60% are high, and 40% are mental. And once in a while I meet a sober person, but it's very rare.
Okay, ladies, follow that black line down to the red line.
The last step before she's locked up, a strip search and a new set of clothes.
Okay, this is a strip search, so everything comes off, everything goes in the bag.
We get pat down even here. Just being naked, circumstances are shameful, and therefore brings about the feelings of violation. It really sucks. It really sucks. And having to turn around and spread your cheeks and squat and cough.
All right, ladies, load up.
Unless Harris can convince the court to let her take one more shot at rehab, she'll be sent to prison and marked for life as a convicted criminal.
Hey, you want to take your hat off or your sunglasses? Do you have any jewelry of any kind?
Sunday, but it's no day of rest at the Multnomah Detention Center in downtown Portland, Oregon. While new arrivals are booked and processed in the basement area, several floors above, nearly 700 people are incarcerated, either awaiting court dates or doing up to a year of jail time.
503. Portland, Oregon, baby, Multnomah County.
The jail is filled beyond capacity, so maintaining control and preventing violence is the first priority. To manage the flow of inmates, 5 floors of cell blocks are divided into small housing units. All are monitored around the clock by a central command unit equipped with 100 CCTV cameras. Safety is paramount, so everyone is locked down 22 hours a day. That's longer than in many state prisons. Over half the inmates are drug abusers, and their behavior is often unpredictable. On the 6th floor, the men's unit staff distribute medication. For heroin addicts like Paul Lyman, it's a huge help in dealing with their painful withdrawal. If he can kick heroin, he may stop shoplifting to support his habit and no longer be a costly burden to the county and himself.
Once I've realized that I'm gonna have to come to jail, it makes the kicking quite a bit easier than if I'm trying to do it outside somewhere where I would have access to be able to go get drugs if I needed to.
It's not clear that Paul Lyman really wants to stop using. After a couple of days without drugs, he's already showing signs of agitation.
Doom and gloom is what I call it. Yeah. I'm staring at these ugly walls here. This ugly yellow puke color with the scrawlings from retarded freaks like me, you know, just scrawling stupid on walls. And I'm sitting here staring at it 24 hours a day. And it's horrible. It really is. Yeah.
Only if he commits himself to quitting will he stand a chance of staying clean on the streets.
Go directly from jail right into a program instead of out right onto the street, and then where you have more of a chance of relapsing.
As Nurse Topor explains, outside programs may be the only way to break the cycle of drug abuse and crime.
We have a limited amount of money to spend on the very expensive medications that they require. We don't have the staff to probably provide all the services they need, so it just goes on and on.
Nurses often see users who are also suffering from another problem, mental illness.
You often see what we call dual diagnosis people here, and it might be even triple diagnosis. There are people that have mental illness that use drugs and alcohol to treat their mental illness on the street. A lot of those medicines don't make people that have mental illness feel well. They cause incredible psychiatric-like symptoms. Then you don't know if you have the chicken or the egg. You know, you don't know if the person was mentally ill and they use the methamphetamine to make them feel better, or the other way around.
Mental illness and drugs. It's a combination that makes life extremely difficult for officers and those suffering a damaging and debilitating affliction.
What did I do to get in trouble this time? I'm sleeping.
Sleeping. You gotta quit running in and out of buildings, scaring people.
Too violent for the local hospital to cope with, an aggressive meth user is brought into the Portland County Detention Center.
You'll get your shirts back. We're gonna walk you over here. We'll just have you sit down for a minute. Yeah, just for a minute.
I don't want to sit down here for a minute. I'm trying to my way up in there.
Go ahead and have a seat.
Their psych ward called me and told me to come get him because they couldn't handle him. He was being like this, so uncontrollable that they couldn't even get to him and administer sedatives.
State budget cuts have forced many of Portland's mental health facilities to close.
Guys like Jay slip through the cracks because he's borderline. He's bipolar. Mostly it's methamphetamine psychosis, which I believe is the result of all of his problems. It's when he uses, he gets like this.
Now, for better or worse, the county jail is also used as a mental hospital.
I'm going to recommend 45 days because of this behavior. It'll be here most definitely because he'll be on the, he'll be getting psychiatric care here.
When the mentally ill are out of control, they are sent here, cell block 4D, the psychiatric ward. It's home to the 10 most extreme cases of mental illness on any given night.
You need to pull yourself under control, okay?
Tonight, the Deputy Bledsoe works on the unit alone. It's his job to make sure that none of the inmates in the unit harm themselves or anyone else.
You got to read these people. Sometimes they'll be fine in 1 minute, and next minute they'll just snap, and they'll be on you. Very assaulting. The majority of your staff assaults occur in this unit.
For safety, the cell doors are locked at meal times. Bledsoe serves their trays through a narrow food port.
Hot tray. There you go, man. Enjoy.
And when it's time to hand out medication, he escorts the nurse to discourage misbehavior.
Most of them refuse to take medication. They're the feces eaters, the flooders, the ones that are really combative, the ones that are way out there. And we can't force medicate them, so this is where they go.
One inmate called Parish George also claims he didn't receive his breakfast this morning. He's been eating his own feces ever since. Bledsoe calls the duty sergeant and asks for a deputy to be posted outside his cell to prevent any further self-harm.
His assignment is suicide watch. He'll just sit there and check on him every 15 minutes until it's a constant watch.
All the deputies can do now is wait and watch. But most inmates don't harm themselves. They're actually afraid of being assaulted by other, more violent inmates.
There's always a chance that you come out this door that you're going to be confronted. There's always a threat of violence. Whether you're going out to use the phones, whether you're getting your meal, whether you're going to rec, it's always a possibility. Ain't nobody talking to you. You heard what I said. I mean, I'm not a troublemaker. I just keep it simple. I don't really start trouble and stuff, but I do defend myself.
Drug addict Miranda Harris is only going to be here for another day until her court date. But that already seems too long to wait.
I could deal with isolation. I can deal with the nasty food. I can deal with all of that It's what it represents that's driving me crazy.
Miranda claims she was committed to legal studies until she was arrested for possession of cocaine. Now she's an inmate sharing a cell the size of a bathroom with a woman whose crime she doesn't even know. Their only activities, sleeping, reading, and some daily recreation.
Hey, dinner time, ladies. Want to open up your door? Why don't you come out and get your trays?
At mealtime, Miranda has 15 minutes to eat.
We had greens, we had this one piece of meat, and this a piece of cake. I miss my vegetables. The food still sucks, and nobody's heard of salt and pepper here. Yeah, this is gross.
Tomorrow morning, she'll ask the judge to let her return to rehab, even though she's already dropped out several times. She couldn't handle the program's strict rules before, but now she wants one more chance.
I'm trying to avoid prison. You know, if I'm terminated from this program, I wind up on probation, I have to do more jail time. And really, I'm not even concerned about that as it is keeping a felony on my record. Having a felony on my record, I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that, and that disturbs my goals to finish my paralegal studies.
If she can't convince the court she's ready to build a better life for herself and her daughter, her future may be behind bars. The graveyard shift on Sunday night, but there's no rest or peace here. It's been so busy that there are too many new inmates for too few cells. The waiting room and the jail are filled to bursting. And Duty Sergeant Gorton is about to do something that does not come naturally. Let some inmates go.
All right, the count is 673 in the building. We've ordered a matrix list. Once we release those people, we have no more room. We're going to go over our count.
To the left?
So if we go over count, we go over count. There's nothing we can do about it. We've released everybody that we can release that's not going to be a danger to society.
Everybody stand up, grab your papers and clothes, we'll come on back.
Overcrowding forces Gorton to actually release detainees back onto the street. It happens so often that the jail has developed a system to deal with it. It's called matrixing, and it helps officers determine which inmates pose the least threat to public safety.
Did I get it right?
Every crime is given a number. The highest numbers are for serious crimes. The lowest for minor offenses, like trespassing. The inmates with the lowest numbers get out first. Most drug possession charges are non-violent, so users are often among the first released. Tonight, Sergeant Robinson selects 12 inmates to be released.
A lot of these are drug charges. Possession of meth, heroin, meth, possession of cocaine. And all those crimes, basically the people support their habits by victimizing other people by stealing and shoplifting and burglary and car theft.
For officers who risk their lives to battle crime, letting inmates back out is hard to accept.
It's a bad situation. We've been in a budget crisis for 11 years, as long as I've been here. You know, it's sad to say, but, you know, we try to release the ones that we feel are, you know, the least problem to the community, but these are the ones that are going to go out and commit the crimes that are going to affect me, because I live in Multnomah County, and just the average citizen by taking their possessions and breaking into their cars and whatnot.
Second door on the right with glass on it.
Deputies wait until just after midnight, when the jail is most crowded.
There you go.
Then they notify the inmates minutes before their release. Naturally, no inmate is sorry to leave.
I was laying in bed, and the officer came by, tapped me on the shoulder. First thing he said, "You're not dreaming." I said, "What's the up?" He said, "Roll up, you're going home." And here I am.
They got a 23-hour lockdown here at the Justice Center, which is kind of unhumane, you know, a little crazy.
They keep bringing them in, and we don't have a place to put them. The county continues to cut our budget. You know, public safety is not high on anybody's list, it seems, anymore. Unfortunately, because of that, we have to let these offenders back out into the public where they're more apt to reoffend. We've let people out, and 2 hours later, they're back. How you doing?
How you doing?
All right.
Let me guess, you didn't have any shoes last time you left, did you?
No, I had some. Someone walked away with them.
For some of the inmates who remain incarcerated, it hasn't been such a good night. In the jail's psychiatric ward, inmate Parish George has had another psychotic episode. 2 days ago, he was eating his feces. Now he's cut his wrist with a food utensil. Acting Sergeant Phelps got to him before he could seriously hurt himself.
I got the spork away from him. That's what he was cutting his wrist with. He's definitely going to be going on suicide watch now.
Since his jail clothes could be fashioned into a noose, George has put in a suicide smock. It's made of anti-tear material.
All your stuff put together, okay? And that's have the worker come down and bag up his stuff. Make sure he wears gloves, because I don't know where blood got. I don't think he's paid that much, but I'd rather have him do it than you. Behave yourself, all right?
Now, Sergeant Phelps needs to get George out of the unit while they clean up the blood and mess in his cell. He handcuffs him and leads him out, but George is angry.
Telling them, well, kill yourself, you piece of shit. You don't got no balls, da-da-da-da-da. Pisses me off.
Sergeant Phelps watches the troubled inmate closely. Although he's handcuffed, he could still attack the officer. Phelps wants to get him into a new cell as soon as he can. But there's a problem. If he puts him in a cell with a double bunk, George could fling himself off the top.
Can't have you in here because there's bunks and, you know, when you're into self-destructing behavior, can't have you jumping off a bunk to hurt yourself. So there's going to be somewhere where there's, you know, just one bunk there. I do appreciate being cooperative.
Phelps manages to find a single bunk cell in the overcrowded jail.
Come on through here, Mr. George. Get you out of those handcuffs. Get you some decent quiet here.
With George in a new cell, Phelps can bring medical officers up to treat him. It's hoped they'll be able to calm him and keep him from killing himself. Inmate Miranda Harris isn't mentally ill, but she's seriously stressed. Today is Judgment Day for the 28-year-old drug addict. She goes to court across the street to plead for readmission to drug rehab. If she's successful, she can leave jail immediately.
I will talk to my lawyer about getting released today, and then from there, family.
But if a judge rules against her, she's looking at a criminal conviction, which could prevent her from getting a decent job in the future.
Do I still have Judge Marshall's court at 1:30?
I believe so. I'm not for sure, but
So-
we'll see when we get there.
Okay. Good morning.
Before Harris goes to court, a deputy pats her down for contraband.
Turn around, face the wall.
According to safety rules, she's shackled with a waist chain, handcuffs, and leg irons. The court has seen more than a few inmates lose control. A third deputy escorts her into the courtroom.
Okay, who's next, Mr. CEO?
Miranda Harris.
How you doing, Your Honor?
Good, how are you?
Blessed.
What we know, Ms. Harris, is that you were on a last chance basis here since February 28th.
Getting back into rehab may be harder than Harris expects. The judge makes decisions based on hard facts, not sympathy. And Harris has dropped out more than once. Last time, the judge told her it was her last chance.
All right, Ms. Harris. We did put you on a last chance basis back in February 20th, and told you that we could not have any more failures to appear in court.
Yes, sir.
And unfortunately, that's what we had happen.
Well, Your Honor, Ms. Harris's decision to leave has made the state's ability to support her remaining in this program very, very difficult. She was put on a last...
The prosecutor wants her out of the program.
Needs treatment, but the meaning of last chance bears little meaning at all if we continue to give her another chance in this program. And I'm afraid I cannot support at this time her remaining in the STOP program.
receiving the benefit.
Harris makes one final plea.
But I'm 28. I don't want the felony on my record. I want to go back eventually to study paralegal. And it'll make it very difficult.
She wants to go back into residential treatment. We're asking, Your Honor, that you do extend the last chance, because she has been making these efforts, that you allow her to remain in the program, Your Honor. We'd ask that
The jail may be crowded, but the drug treatment program is also full to capacity.
I don't disagree that she needs residential treatment. That is painfully obvious. I've got 385 other people in this program that need that bed. There are 600 people in Multnomah County on any given day that need residential treatment. And she walked away from it and got a third warrant. And given all of that, I must ask that she be terminated from the program.
Now, it's up to the judge to decide her future.
I really don't want to be terminated from the program.
And Your Honor, I have a report from INACT.
If the county court allows addict Miranda Harris back into the STOP drug program, she can dodge a criminal conviction and go home. The alternative isn't pretty. More jail time. Harris waits for Judge Marshall's ruling.
Unfortunately, we are going to have to terminate you from the STOP program, and we had back.
The judge kicks her out of the program.
Dates now.
She now faces the drug charge that originally brought her to court.
Back in January of this year, we did have you do a guilty plea to 1 count of unlawful possession of cocaine. We're going to go ahead and enter in a judgment of conviction on that count.
Miranda leaves the courtroom a convicted criminal.
Good luck to you, Ms. Harris.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The judge orders her back to jail for a 10-day sentence. After that, 18 months probation. And if she gets caught with cocaine again, she'll get an automatic 6-month jail term. As a convicted criminal, she may be marked for the rest of her life. The system demands a substantial price from Miranda Harris, but it gives inmate Parish George a second chance. As Deputy Bledsoe soon discovers, medical staff have worked wonders with George.
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing lovely.
Good.
Fantastic.
Okay, these are crushed.
All right, that's cool.
They've adjusted his medication to prevent his extreme highs and lows.
Sometimes I'm right in the middle like now, but sometimes I can't help myself to react the way I do and talk the way I do and stuff like that. I was just, so upset that, I was just going off the wall about, just everything.
Oh, yeah. Psych. All right, man.
This is a cool deputy right here.
I feel like my bipolar is intensifying the older I get, and I'm trying to work with the doctors here to get the right medication for me, and it seems like it's working because, as of lately, my behavior has been exceptional, and I'm doing good.
He knows it's always going to be a balancing act for him, but he's hopeful he can keep things on track.
Just trying to ease my mind and just hopefully, because I'm smart, I got potential. Before I was sent here, I was going to college for cosmetology and got an album out in stores. So I'm just trying to keep focused and just do what's right.
If he continues to improve, Deputy Bledsoe will move him out of 4D into the general population. The detention center has no shortage of mentally ill inmates, so an empty cell in the psychiatric ward would be most welcome. At the front desk downstairs, the daily parade of detainees never stops for officers like Deputy Bledsoe and Sergeant Gordon. This time they're saying goodbye to Paul Lyman and Miranda Harris.
God is off the damn food chain.
Miranda has completed her sentence. Now she's got less than 24 hours to register with her probation officer, or she'll be in trouble. She'll have to comply with weekly visits and random drug tests for 18 months.
Hey man, do you have a light?
One slip and she'll be right back in county jail. It has happened to her before.
Okay. And I gotta put these things back on?
Exactly.
Oh.
All of your jail clothes, including the shoes, this bin right here.
All right.
The overcrowded detention center releases heroin addict Paul Lyman early to make room for more dangerous
No,
criminals.
this is big on purpose. No.
Paul's been clean during his short stay in jail, but putting on his street clothes reminds him of bad habits. In this case, shoplifting.
See, I have these oversized cords so I can put Levi's on underneath when I go to the store. What I do is I grab 8-10 pairs of Levi's and get in the dressing room, and I have some pliers in there, and I break the little sensors off, and then I put them on and I wear them out, and I just walk out.
He steals to buy heroin.
Well, it's been working for a lot of years for me. I get caught, but that's just the part of the game, you know. Me not afraid.
He's got no job prospects. He's relying on his parole officer to keep him off the streets. He knows staying off heroin will be even harder.
So I'm gonna swing by and check in with her, my PO, and after that, I hope she can set me up with a place to stay or something. Because if she can't, I'll be just roaming around the streets, and just out of boredom alone, I'm gonna want to use. You know, that's, if history repeats itself, that's the way it goes. I mean, it's just what I do. That's my life, you know. Can I bum a cigarette off you? Awesome.
If history repeats itself, as it does for 80% of the inmates, Paul Lyman will be back.
We get a lot of frequent flyers in here. We get a lot of recidivism in here.
At the Multnomah County Detention Center, the action never stops, and the danger never ends. Between the violent offenders, the mentally ill, and the substance abusers, each day Sergeant Gordon, Deputy Bledsoe, and their fellow officers will be there, risking their lives in the fight against crime. They know that no matter how many inmates pass through, the cells will always be full at county jail. These officers never know when the next outburst will come.
When people get arrested, they're mad. We start invading their close personal space, they get even more angry.
In the line of fire, surrounded by drug addicts and the mentally ill, violence is the only certainty.
We got no time for the games they play.
Hold up, man. Hold up, man. Take my cuffs off.
Ain't nobody talking to you.
This is where crime and punishment meet. This is county jail.
Ready? Okay, stand up. Want to take the hand? Take these cuffs off? Oh, okay.
9 p.m. Friday evening. And the weekend's just begun at the Multnomah County Detention Center in Portland, Oregon. Officers here are on the front line in the never-ending battle against crime.
When's the last time you shot up?
Counter. Leave your hands on the counter, walk your feet back to the edge of the mat.
All right, you have a weapon, sharp objects, any drugs, and cutter program? Nope.
Everybody arrested in the city of Portland tonight will be processed here, whether they like it or not.
You.
Don't touch me! Don't touch me!
For deputies, that means confronting detainees who may be angry and aggressive, like this young woman who allegedly assaulted her boyfriend and attacked total strangers during a drinking binge. Gaining control is a constant challenge.
It's gonna hurt. Don't touch me.
It's a dangerous job. Many offenders are not only violent, but drug addicted and mentally ill. Deputy Bledsoe is a 12-year veteran at the booking counter, the first stop in the processing of people arrested on the street. He's learned to expect anything.
Oh no, every night's different. You can't predict at the beginning of the shift how the night's going to go. I mean, we could use as a force, it could be a quiet night, we have no problems, and then sometimes we have to fill all these cells up back here.
He often processes 100 individuals in a single day. This county jail is one of the busiest in America, booking 45,000 people a year with the same routine.
Just put your hands on the end of the counter, walk your feet back towards the end of the mat, and spread them out.
Deputy Bledsoe and his fellow officers need to be on constant alert. Kept in a big open space while awaiting their mugshots, there's plenty of room for offenders to misbehave. It's like any other waiting room, except it's filled with people accused of everything from drunk driving and disorderly conduct to theft and assault. Surprisingly, they are not cuffed or restrained in any way. It's part of a policy intended to help reduce stress during the booking process. But more than 2/3 of detainees are drug users. Many are high on crystal meth, a drug that can produce psychotic outbursts.
Hey,
taking the shoes.
Hold up, man. Hold up, man.
Shoes.
Hold up.
You need to cooperate with this.
They can lose control and attack at any time, as Shift Sergeant Gorton knows all too well.
The ultimate challenge for us is maintaining a certain level of safety and security because we don't have cages to put these people in. They're out in the open. They're out in an area where anything can happen at any time.
Despite the risks, officers are unarmed. That way no weapon can get into the wrong hands. But all they have to protect themselves are their wits and a zero tolerance for any kind of resistance.
No, I can't. Walk your feet to the edge of the black man. Okay, you can let go of my pants and I'll do it, but you gotta look. I'm not letting go now.
It's what keeps them safe from harm.
I'm here for a drinking in public ticket.
You need to turn around and be quiet.
I'm not gonna.
You're not
All
gonna
shoes are in me. I'm here on a warrant for drinking in public. I drank a
Face
beer on the
forward.
sidewalk.
Listen to what the hell I'm saying. You understand me? Yeah, you want to cooperate with us, sir, it's going to go bad. You understand?
Okay, I give up. I give up.
You going to
All
behave?
right, yeah, okay, okay.
You're going to give you a chance to fail.
When people come to jail, when they get arrested, they're mad. When they come to jail, they're angrier. And when they come in here and we start invading their close personal space, they get even more angry. That booking counter is